Good morning. It is Monday. I am moving a little bit slow today. If you watched yesterday's vlog, it was just packed. It was a busy day. It was so fun. It was a great day. It was just exhausting, and I totally crashed last night and then slept until the last possible second this morning and just have been moving a little bit slower. I actually still have my pajamas on. You can't see that, but I still have my pajamas on. Lila's with my mom now, so it's time to get today planned out and get moving. What I'm gonna do is move some, I don't know if easier is the right word. I mean, maybe it is for me. Everybody has different tasks that they find easy and they find hard. And there are just some tasks that are more, automatic for me to do. And then some tasks that require a little bit more thinking. And so I'm going to switch some things between today and tomorrow to focus on some more easier tasks for me, some more automatic tasks. And then because I just feel like my brain is not functioning at full capacity today. And then I also have some household things that I would like to prioritize today, just between the chaos of our weekend. The house is kind of in disarray, and so I want to get some stuff together, and then I also need to, at some point, meal plan and run to the grocery store. So I'm going to, trying to decide how I want to split this up. This is one of those days that I really don't need a timed schedule at all because, I guess there are timed things today. The watch parties for the Goals with Laken community are today. So that's what those little green boxes are. But in terms of the actual tasks that I'm doing today, none of them are timed. So I'm going to split things. I'm going to just make two lists. I'm going to make a work list and I'm going to make a personal list. And essentially I'm just going to do them. I may flip-flop between them. I definitely need to do the cleaning of this bedroom before I can get any good work done. It is just too chaotic in here. I'm sure some of you can relate to me that when your space is chaos, you can't focus. But for the sake of the plan, I'm just going to kind of split them up. So I'm gonna do this for sure. I can do those two things, and then I'm gonna pull two things from over here. So there's still 6 work tasks on my list for today. My communication routine, prepping the vlog, which my editor actually already has done. She has plans for today. So she stayed up late. She's also a night owl. She stayed up late last night and finished it after I went to bed and uploaded the clips, which is amazing. And then she also started working on some of the videos for 2026. And so I want to stay on top of them, as she finishes editing them. So I'm not editing or prepping a bagazillion videos in January. But at the same time, I do want to capitalize on batching tasks and doing light tasks together. So I don't just want to do if there's just one, but I'm also already prepping this video. So there's 2 January videos done plus the vlog. So I can do all that together. I'm still going to do Canva and computer files. Those, again, have just gotten out of control and it will make my brain feel better. And then prepping the lessons. I'm not going to record them today, but I'm going to prep them. So those are kind of I can still get a bunch of work things done today without it feeling like I don't know. Can you even tell that my brain is not functioning now? I also still have a lot of coffee left to drink. It's been a morning. So maybe once that coffee kicks in, I'll be a little bit more of a functional human being. So from a personal standpoint, I don't know if all this is going to get done before my mom brings Lila back, but I want to tidy upstairs and I want to tidy downstairs. And then I need to meal plan. I need to run to Trader Joe's. I could always wait and run to Trader Joe's once my mom brings Lila back and take her with me. That's totally an option. And then at some point I would like to start to make some progress on December daily, but we'll see if that ends up happening. Then we have the watch party this evening, as well as my PM routine. And then the one random task I always do on Mondays is get the plants watered. So we'll just put this over here. This is obviously a personal thing, but this is a 5-minute task, whereas all of these things are a more in-depth task. The other thing I thought I would do while we are in top-down mode is show you some progress that I've made on my goals for December. So if you watched the vlog that went up a couple of days ago, I finished my 2024 December daily, so I went ahead and checked that off. I also gave myself credit for starting 2025, even though I haven't actually put anything down on paper. I probably shouldn't have checked that off. But I feel because I've been journaling and because I have been picking photos and I printed some photos, to me that counts as starting. I haven't really made any progress on these 2 lists, the car prep list and the house project list. So those I probably want to prioritize at some point this week. I did buy a dresser. over the weekend, so that feels really good. I also started the nursery. This one also is probably pushing it a little bit because I haven't made a whole lot of progress, but I mean, I wrote start and I have started it. So that's progress. The biggest piece of this was getting Sam to move his desk out of the nursery. So now that he is working downstairs, first off, it's kind of eerily weird to be up here on this level and I can't hear him talking on calls. But so he's down in the basement. And we also, over the weekend, this isn't on my goals, but definitely on Sam's goals, is we did a lot of planning out of stuff for his office. He bought a desk and he bought, what was the other thing he purchased over the weekend? There's still a lot of things he wants to buy. And we went and got paint samples. And so we started to make some good progress on his office. So that's really exciting for him. And then I haven't started on this one. Obviously, if you watched last week's vlog, it was way too cold to walk either days. I think it's gonna be too cold to walk either days this week too. We'll see how that goes. Journaling's been going well. December daily progress has been decent. Working out started stronger last week, and that's not happening today. But it is what it is. And then I actually have decided to cut this goal. Part of the reason is I'm still having battery issues with my Oura Ring, and I have not reached out to them and figured that out. Now I could just track the steps on my phone. But the other thing I was thinking about is the reason I was going to track my steps was so that I could set a step goal in January. And given the weather and things, I think that's going to be not feasible to have a step goal in January. So I'm just not going to worry about it. And so I decided to just forget it. I'm not going to track my steps in December, and I'm not going to set a step goal in January. I'm trying to think of some other more creative ways to focus and prioritize movement in January as I start to get larger and it's still really cold outside, and we'll see. But I thought I would share some updates on my goals. All right, it's time to go tackle this list. All right, it is like way past halfway through the day and I'm having kind of an off day. First off, sorry, Charlie's water fountain, I need to refill it. I'm just gonna unplug it. When it gets close to the bottom, it gets loud. I just need to add more water to it. Where do I even start? Today's just been a rough day. There's just been a number of things that it feels like they've gone wrong and just things that are throwing me off. And physically, I'm feeling very like uncomfortable and just kind of off, which is to be expected. Like first off, we're all human and we all have days like this in general. And I always feel like every year during Vlogmas, there's a day like this where I just feel not like myself, and being pregnant on top of that probably isn't helping. So anyways, I'm not going to go into everything that's going on over here. Everybody is fine and healthy and safe. I'm just frustrated with a number of different things going on. And I just feel like I'm like ready to start over and like for today to just like be in the past and to have a fresh start. But like that is just not it's first off, it's there's still a lot of today left, so I can't have that mindset, and so I don't want to. So far I've gotten one work thing and one personal thing done. That is how far I've gotten in my day. And I finally put on some real clothes. I put on one of my holiday shirts that I love that says "Be your best self, be your best self." The elf is in red. Get it? Try and just make myself feel a little bit more put together and more like I can handle the rest of what today brings. I'm gonna have to prioritize because there's zero chance I'm getting through all the things I put on my list before my mom brings Lila back. But I definitely have to get some of it done. So the first thing I'm gonna do is make a drink. We're gonna open the advent calendar. I'm gonna make a fun drink, and then I'm gonna get the meal plan done. That's like the number one priority on the personal side. I did one of the tidying tasks, but I have to get the meal plan done. And then I will wait, and I'm gonna take Lila with me to Trader Joe's. So that can wait until after she gets back. And then me and my special drink are just gonna get through as much work as we can get through. So let's go over to the advent calendar. Okay, so Sam put some of the mugs, the Christmas mugs, away in here, and then some of them I think are still in the dishwasher. But I guess I need to explain to him what I was envisioning for this year, because some of these were in the cabinet. Okay, let's get this going without knocking these over. Also, during Sam and I had a chat today. I talked about this in a vlog back in October and November. We try to have like a family meeting on Mondays because it's kind of an admin day for both of us, and catch up. And one of the things we talked about was going to the Chris Kindle Market on Friday before our show. Well, two things. One, our show starts at 7 instead of 7:30. So that cuts us off. That was yesterday. That cuts us off a little bit in terms of time. And then the other thing is the show is at a different, it's Elf the musical, and it's at a different theater that is still downtown. Oh my gosh. It's exactly what I needed. Thank you, Advent Calendar, for knowing exactly what I needed. Vanilla chai, black tea. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's fill this up. Anyways, what was I saying? The theater is not like as close to the Chris Kendall Market. In the past, or last year, in the past, one whole year, the theater that our show was at in December was like literally next door. So it just worked out really well. I think we're still gonna try to go, weather pending. We just know we aren't gonna have as much time. So we're gonna have to be picky about, you know, which stores we go into. We're gonna have to prioritize food because that's a big piece of it. I think last year we did a lot of like browsing and shopping. I think we did 2 different hot chocolate stands. Really, there's one that is butter and everybody knows it. The line is always super long and it's just, you gotta prioritize that one. And so we're gonna attempt to do it. We talked about that, but it's a little bit more difficult than we had originally thought. Also, the other thing that happened today is I lost a nail while I was cleaning and I don't know where it is, right? When this one popped off, I was right there. I don't even remember how it happened, but I had the nail to glue back on. This one is gone. So we'll see. I'm just gonna leave them for now for this vlog. I'm planning to film, what day is that? I think I'm planning to film Wednesday. Like by the time I wanna film like a true YouTube video, I really need to have nice nails. I did save the box, so the nail wouldn't be the perfect fit, but I could go find another one because the set came with like, it didn't just come with 10, right? It came, I think, with like 30 or something. So there's different sizes because people have different size fingers. So I think I could find one that's like close enough and glue it on to this nail. And that's probably what I'll end up doing because I know I updated you yesterday and my Dazzle Dry order did move, but it hasn't moved since yesterday at 10 a.m. So it still doesn't have an updated like delivery day. It just says that it moved yesterday through the system, whatever that means. So anyway, all right, I'm gonna make one for me and one for Sam. It's gonna be weird taking this down to him in the basement. Did I mention that earlier, that he's down in the basement and it's so weird not to hear him upstairs. I rarely make our bed nowadays. I think I talked about this in a vlog that Sam and I have been using like 2 different comforters lately because of all my movement at night. But I piled all this stuff up earlier to have space to like fold clothes down here. And Charlie has been in the same spot basically all day. And she just looks so cute curled up right there. Oh, I love when her little tail wraps around her head like that. I feel like she looks like a dragon kitty. Okay, before we jump back into work, let's talk about meal planning. I did put out a question a couple of vlogs ago if there was anything specific you wanted to see during Vlogmas. And somebody asked, let me make sure I get the phrasing right. All right, so somebody said, could you do a segment talking about your favorite meals, crockpot and non-crockpot? And I will tell you about what I have, but I am gonna be totally honest, I don't have a lot right now. A lot of times I have like a handful that I reference, which I will share. And then a lot of times I'm like thinking of something and Googling it, or like Googling a recipe for that one specific thing, or I am just like making things up. Truth, I'm gonna be totally honest. I feel like I have made a goal a number of years to like get my recipes in order, and I wanna get back to that. And I feel like we've just been in such a state of flux the last couple of years between moving and pregnancies and whatnot, that has been difficult because it feels like we get into a rhythm or routine and we have our recipes that we like and then something changes. My husband also had a health change in the last couple of years that impacted some of the recipes that we used to rely on aren't options anymore. And so I don't actually have that many. What I have is a Google Doc, and I will make it shareable. Obviously, I'm not gonna make it editable because I don't want anyone to change it, but I will share it with anybody who wants the link. And my goal eventually is to update this more. So you could always potentially go back and reference this, but literally the recipes in here are that corn chicken chowder that I showed last week, slow cooker beef stew, which I think I'm gonna do this week as my slow cooker one. There's a lot of these recipes are from a YouTube channel that I've also referenced before. I feel like I always mispronounce her last name, Julia Pacheco, I think that's how you say it. But she has a YouTube channel. She also has a cookbook that I feel like I'm tempted to get. I may ask for some cookbooks for my birthday. I feel like asking for them for Christmas is silly because I'm not gonna touch them during like my 3rd trimester of pregnancy and or like postpartum, but maybe by my birthday I'll feel more up for it. But I think doing this slow cooker beef stew, which is literally, it's not one of Sam's favorites because he's not a big regular potato person, but I really like this recipe and he is okay when I do it. He just always gives me a hard time and says the ratio of potatoes to everything else is like silly. So I'm gonna try to make the recipe or the ratio of potatoes not as intense. So potatoes, onions, carrots, beef broth. We skip the tomato sauce. We actually need Worcestershire. Am I saying that right? Worcestershire sauce. I used the last of ours last week when I made those turkey burgers. We have thyme, rosemary, paprika. We actually don't have any bay leaves right now. I used the last of those too. But I don't know that Trader Joe's has them. And if they don't, then it's just whatever. It's gonna be what it is. So that's gonna be one. The other thing I'm gonna make tonight, and this is sometimes how I end up meal planning, we have those buns from last week that we haven't used yet, and this I need to make tonight. And so I'm gonna make pulled pork, but I need it to be like quick pulled pork. Like I need to be able to make it tonight, not in like this is five. Yeah, I know pulled pork would have been better in the crock pot. Okay, but I didn't plan it ahead of time and I don't want those buns to go bad. So is there like a pulled pork recipe that I can make quickly? Nope. Oh, crap. All right, that may not be an option. I'm trying to think of something else I could do. What about like sloppy joes? That's tomato based. We try to avoid tomato based in our house. I mean, I could just make burgers again if that's really the only option. And that might be truthfully what we end up doing because I'm feeling, yeah, you know what? That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get ground turkey and we're gonna make turkey burgers again. I did broccoli last week. You know what I might do? I'll do sweet potatoes. So I'll get regular potatoes for this. And then I'll get sweet potatoes because Sam likes sweet potatoes. And then maybe we'll do, instead of broccoli, we'll get like asparagus. And then let's see what other recipes are in here. So there's the slow cooker beef and broccoli, which I also really like. There's the chorizo sweet potato skillet, which I have absolutely talked about before. I have altered that a lot to make it fit for our family. I buy pre-cooked sausage instead of chorizo. We have eliminated the tomato or the salsa piece of that and we use a different sauce now, but I do still do that one a lot. There's a salmon recipe in here that I like, but I'm not doing salmon right now. There's this one skillet sun-dried tomato chicken and orzo that a friend made for us. I've tried to recreate it once before. It's a little bit more on the complicated side than I prefer, but it is absolutely delicious. This creamy 10-minute pesto sauce is another go-to of mine since we have eliminated tomato based. And so if I want to do pasta, maybe that's our last meal for this week, is we do some sort of pasta and then we get chicken. I love this grocery list pad. I have been using this. I mean, it's one of those like cheesy ones. What's the brand? Knock Knock. That has like been around for so long and has all kinds of silly pads, but honestly, this makes shopping so much easier. This makes me not forgetting things. I also need to circle our staples, but let me finish this right now. We need, for this recipe, I feel like scrolling down to the ingredients, I wish the ingredients were at the top. I know people make fun of recipes on blog posts that you have to like scroll through the story to get to the ingredient. Okay, olive oil, garlic, cream, which we have half and half for coffee. So grated Parmesan is what I need to check. So I think we have some still, but I need to look in the fridge and see if that's true. Pesto is for sure the one thing I need to buy. And then chicken and pasta. And that's super easy. And then I'm gonna get some mushrooms to throw in there for a vegetable. Easy, done. So those are the 3 meals we're gonna make this week. Let's see, what other recipes are in here? Zucchini pancakes, I made those a lot. The last 2 recipes were things I made a lot for Lila when she first started eating solid. So I have zucchini pancakes and I have pumpkin pancakes. Those are the recipes I have to share with you. So it's not really all that exciting, I feel like. And again, I'll provide this link if you want to take a look. And I'm hoping to update this and make it more robust in the new year. And so you can have the link and you can follow along with me in the new year. But that is the list. That is answering that question and also helping me plan it out. And then a couple other staples that we need. As always, we need bananas. We're good on grapes. We need milk and we need half and half. And that's kind of the basis. We have cereal. I think we're good on everything else. So I am now going to enjoy my tea and get as much work done as possible before my mom brings Lila home. All right, here is the Trader Joe's haul. Most of this shouldn't surprise you since you saw me make the grocery list. They didn't have beef broth right now, so I just grabbed the chicken broth half and half. They did have bay leaves, so that was exciting. They didn't have asparagus, so I grabbed green beans instead. We did need Parmesan for the pesto sauce. Grabbed a bag of onions. We only need 1 onion for the recipe this week, but we use onions and they don't go bad fast enough before we go through them, so I always buy the bag. This was something I noticed we were all out of, or almost out of. There was 1 left in the drawer when I was looking to check on this cheese. I saw there was only 1 cheese stick, which is kind of amazing because I bought the Costco bag of cheese sticks. When was that? A long time ago. And I do need to go to Costco this week, so I kind of like hesitated getting this, but I don't know that we need the Costco bag size bag right now. I got the Costco size bag. It must have been for the Halloween party. So, and we finally made it through all of those. Both Sam and Lila love these as snacks. I got these for the pasta night. I was originally just gonna get chicken and cook it, but then I saw these and thought, let's try those. Pesto, bananas, mushrooms. These sliced mushrooms were the same price as the unsliced, so I thought I'd save myself a couple minutes. Turkey, the beef stew. This is the pasta shape I picked out. Potatoes for the beef stew. And then I got this idea from my mom. I was over there for dinner. It was when Sam was out of town. So I don't know, a couple weeks ago. And she had made like a pot roast stew kind of thing. And she had baby carrots in there. And I asked her, I said, why do you use baby carrots instead of like, every recipe I've ever seen calls for like the big carrots and then you cut them. She goes, because it's faster. And I just dumped a bag of baby carrots in there. So I got baby carrots, milk, coffee, always. I also noticed we were almost out of ketchup. And so I grabbed one of those. And then they did not have Worcestershire sauce. So that is what I was going to grab to make the burgers. So I'm going to have to find a different burger recipe. They may not be as good as last week's, but oh well. And then this was like the one random thing that I saw that I decided that the baby needed this week. I also feel like I'm in a little bit of a better mood. I'm still not 100% and very much ready to like crawl in bed and have a fresh start tomorrow. But I also today managed to catch up on the vlogs. I talked about a couple days ago what vlogs I watched during Vlogmas and then podcasts. So with the exception of the Ali Edwards ones, because those I can't watch while I'm like cooking dinner because I need to pay attention to those. So I did decide to go ahead and download a new book that was inspired by, I have a couple of books on hold at the library, but nothing has come through, like audiobooks, nothing has come through. So I decided to go ahead and get on Audible the book, The Big Leap, which I feel like has been on my list for probably years. But one of the YouTube videos I caught up on today was Sarah Cannon's live from Friday. And she talked a lot about that book and how good it was and how helpful it was for her, like mental health and business breakthroughs and whatnot. So I downloaded that book and started it. So that's what I'm gonna pop in my ears while I get these groceries put away and get started on dinner while Lila and Sam are playing downstairs. Hello, good evening. It is a lot later. Obviously, it's very dark. The only light on in here is the lamp on my nightstand as well as the glow from my computer. I just sat down at my desk. Lila is in bed. We had a lovely evening as a family. The burgers still turned out great. I just used a different kind of sauce, but it inspired me to take the recipe that I used last week and then kind of followed this week with just a different sauce and add it to that Google Doc. And it just reminded me, like a goal thought for you in this vlog is you don't always have to wait for like something drastic to happen or for you to start fresh goals in a new year, a new quarter, a new month to like start making small changes, right? Like, yes, there are lots of things I would like to add and update in that Google Doc for my recipes, but I can do the simple thing of adding the turkey burger recipe that I used tonight and even the green bean recipe that I followed for tonight. I adjusted it a little bit, and add those to the Google Doc because they were good and they turned out great. And I can reference them in the future without having to Google. So just thought I would share. And now I am very ready to go to bed and to just start over fresh tomorrow. So I'm going to do one really quick work thing. And then I may get tomorrow all planned out. I don't think I'm gonna include it in the vlog though. I had probably overly high ambitions going into Vlogmas to include like the daily plan with me every single day. And I think that's just not going to be feasible every single day. So it is what it is. Today was not my best day, but We survived. We did it. If you made it all the way to the end, just comment below with a heart emoji. I could just use a hug. And thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you. If you're listening to me talk right now, I don't know if you're caught up or you're jumping in, you're watching this many days of Vlogmas, you're watching all the way to the end. I very, very, very much appreciate you. I feel like it's important to me and I'm not giving up, but some days it's not the best. So today was just one of those days. Thank you for being here. I would appreciate a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you tomorrow. Contests or grouping contests? What? Where did that word come from? Wow, I can't talk, sorry. But it's, let me say it again. I love this meal planning, or this,